So we had Concord, which crashed and burned, obviously. Then we had Highguard. Now we're currently dealing with Marathon. And in the very near future, we're going to have Horizon Hunters Gathering. Oh, I'm sorry. Horizon Daydem Hunters Gathering. No calories will escape. And we just also had to deal with one of the most astroturfed situations in gaming's history, probably the most, in fact, and that was obviously Mixtape, literally sponsored by multi-billionaires who don't care about losing 100 million because it's literally nothing to them, and they just want to push woke agendas and propagandas. And we obviously completely obliterated all of that, and currently we have this video by good old Timothy Kane. Do gamers know what they like? Man, that's really something only a modern day dev would be saying, honestly, and a woke one at that. But in any case, I'm sure there's gonna be a great point here, besides the typical Tim Kane video where he covertly kind of begs and not just Todd Howard to hire him once again to work on a Fallout game, but you know.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim. Today I want to talk about the question, do game players even know what they like? I almost called this, game players don't know what they like, but I figured it would lead to a better comment section if I posed it as a question. Let me tell you why I thought of this. I was watching a comedian podcast, not a comedy podcast. I wasn't watching comedians do stand-up. I was talking about comedians talk with each other about being comedians.
So literally 80% of podcasts couldn't.
And one of them made a comment that it's very hard to come up with jokes in a world where audience only know what they find unfunny. And most of them couldn't write a joke if their lives depended on it, especially a joke that you could say in stand-up. And I thought that was...
Oh no, I thought this video was going to be a fallacy, but I mean, okay, we're gonna give Timmy Boy a little bit more time. He's warming up, he's lathering the wheels. Wheels don't need to be lathered though. You know, but he's doing stuff, okay? He's shifting into gears. Let's give him a little bit of time. I know this already sounds out of touch and stupid, but let's give it a little bit of time, you know? What bad can happen? We're nice people, right?
Interesting because, first of all, I've met a lot of people who think they're funny and they are not funny. But also, stand-up comedy is a perfect example of it doesn't require any equipment or anything. It's basically you and it's pure skill. And there's a lot of people who think they're good at it who are not good at it. And I thought that was interesting because it was purely skill-based. But what the comedian was essentially saying is it's hard to get feedback from an audience because
some people call me funny. Haha, yeah, laugh at the retard. Very funny, guys.
Laugh when you say something funny and groan or boo when you say something not funny, but they're not actually telling you what it is they liked and didn't disliked about those jokes. You only know whether it was a hit or a miss. This is similar in the game industry, but what really knocked it home for me is someone mentioned a George R.R. Martin quote, which I looked up. He was talking about
George should do list quotes and write his stupid fucking book. That's what George should do.
Book readers, and he said, quote, now social media is ruled by anti-fans who would rather talk about the stuff they hate than the stuff they love, unquote. Now, whether or not social media is the cause, I don't know. That's a whole
That's not even remotely true. Whenever something is good, it completely will out-eclipse negativity. I mean, look at Crimson Desert. That's just one of the better examples of something that was really, 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 really good and it completely out-eclipsed negativity. Every time something is good enough, the positivity will completely shatter and out-eclipse the negativity. If the majority of something is negative, then congratulations, it's just bad.
Other discussion, I don't even want to have it. But I do see a rise over the decades of my career in how games are discussed, in person and online, which is a prioritization of the bad features over the good. People love to talk about what they hate.
This is a misunderstanding of basic human stuff, okay? When something is bad, there's no point in talking about the good because the bad just outweighs the good and drowns it out. When something is bad, you can only pretty much point out the bad things because they're really bad most of the time.
And some of them almost never even mention what it is they like. What would they prefer instead? And I get it with the rise of monetized channels. I totally understand that rage bait gets more clicks. So if you go on and have a channel and you go, I hate this and these people are dumb and blah, you get more clicks just because that's what people respond to. But it doesn't really explain forums or comments.
I feel appreciated. Thank you, Tim Kaine. I do feel actually appreciated now. Now my day is a little bit better. I feel appreciated. Thank you. I smile on my face, boys. It is. Every time. Oh, God. I feel so good suddenly. Nice.
Sections where the people who are leaving the comments, they have no stake in how many people read their comment. But still, you find that complaints about features are on the rise. And
because you keep doing stupid woke shit that no one wants. You're doing obviously things that gamers don't want. That's why it's on the rise. He is right. It is on the rise. But it's not on the rise because suddenly everyone wants to complain about things. It's on the rise because there's literally countless companies that are gonna make a thing go bankrupt because they want to be activists instead of game developers. That's it.
constructive feedback saying, I wish they had done this instead, or I like this in my games, is on the decline. At least
Fuck constructive feedback, okay? Okay, he's never gonna get to the point. It's been 3 minutes in and I'm gonna... This whole video seems like a complete fallacy already, okay? We are not game players. I'm gonna see... Thank you, bless you. We are not game players in this perspective. We are game players, but from this perspective, we are consumers. And it is not a consumer's job to try and make the game developer do the right thing. We just say if it's bad or if it's good. We are not forced, and no one can force us to give constructive feedback or anything. No, you're just supposed to make a thing that we like. We have given you all of the things that we don't like. It should be kind of easy to figure out something that we probably will like. It's not that hard. And this is the problem. We as consumers don't need to explain what is the things that we like. You're supposed to figure that out, and you're supposed to try and avoid the things that we have already stated that we don't like. It's that easy. But for some reason, they don't ever do this. This is a complete fallacy. You don't need to give constructive feedback. You don't need to do anything. The last time someone gave constructive feedback was pretty much Diablo 4, and look at where that went. It got us. Nowhere. The devs completely ignored all of the feedback, and then they started to listening to the last 5 people remaining, and that's how Diablo 4 got killed. These people don't listen when actual feedback is provided, and they do listen when it flatters their egos. That's it. It's not our job to do your job for you. It's your job to do your goddamn job. So do your job and stop complaining.
at the very minimum, the ratio has been increasing from bad to good. The weird thing about this is I see people complaining about features that they can 100% absolutely ignore. Yes, the game has that feature. Yes, the game is 100% playable without the feature.
I wonder if he's talking about WoW. I really wonder this. Also, this is also bad. This is also a horrible take, Tim. Like, what the fuck are you doing? If people are complaining about a feature they don't want that feature in the game because it's bad. It's taking up space. It's potentially there instead of something that they could have liked. So complain all you want. It's fine. The same way you can complain if you don't agree with me.
Feature, but they complain that the feature exists. Like,
yes.
Oh, it's there. It's looking at me.
Yes.
This comes up a lot about microtransactions.
Yes. Oh God, this is where this is the classic Todd. Please hire me.
Games that have 100% cosmetic only microtransactions. People will still complain they're there, even though those transactions in no way make the
Yes, I personally think 100% cosmetic microtransactions are fine. Most people, in fact, do that. But I do understand the people who are even being negative towards that because, hey, we're gonna allow if we just suddenly allow cosmetic microtransactions, someone's gonna put in a different microtransaction. The moment there is no pushback, these people will step over the line. The line in the sand is there, and they're just waiting when they can step over it. They're never gonna consider not stepping over it. It's we need to keep them in check so they don't step over it type of situation.
game easier to play, or it's not pay to win, it's just cosmetic microtransactions. I've mentioned this before, and people's response were, whoa, some of these people are spending or gambling addicts and they can't control themselves and this is predatory and it's horrible. But then I did a fast travel video, and I'll link it below, where I said, well, what about fast travel? There are games, now you're right, some people brought up there are some games that aren't designed well, so if you don't have fast travel and quest markers are harder to play, but there are a lot of games that you do not need to use fast travel. And they even have some difficulty modes where you can't. But guess what? People still do it anyway.
Okay.
Those games are provably that fast travel was not necessary to play the game or even to enjoy the game. But almost everybody does it anyway. There's no gambling component. And people will then go, well, it's more convenient or something like that. But
maybe I'm missing something, but I'm completely not understanding what is the point of the fast travel analogy.
They will do it even when non-fast travel rewards them by giving them fun encounters or new location discovery. They will still use fast travel, which makes the game.
Oh, he's just using fast travel as a poor excuse. Oh, gamers will always choose the wrong choice anyway. That's why they don't know what they want. Okay, got it.
A lesser experience for them, but they can't seem to bring themselves not to use.
The literal argument that this fucking by the way, the easiest beyond easy argument to this point is, but I want to do the thing that I want to do more than the random thing that you think I want to do. This is a complete 100% counter to what he's saying. Oh, people use fast travel even though the game's not designed about it. Bro, I want to do the thing I want to do right now. And fast travel gets me there. I'm gonna use it. So, people using fast travel is objectively showing actually that gamers know what they want because they're choosing to use fast travel because that's gonna get them where they wanna be because they chose what they wanted to do. And Tim's like, no, actually, you choosing what you want to do makes you wrong. Hey, that's an insane that is an insane thing to say.
Use it, and then that's when they turn around and say, "Well, it's the designer's fault. He never should have put that in the first place." Which is again a whole other discussion of how much handholding do you want, and handholding in this case is how much should the designer not let you pick and choose how you want to play the game. Should he force you to play it the way that you want to play it and is the way you'll enjoy it?
We know the answer to this is give players options. We know that the super majority of people will always choose options. We want options. As gamers, that's what we want. We don't want a rigid system that doesn't allow us to do anything. Blizzard has gotten burned over this. Bethesda has gotten burned over this. I mean, look at honestly Bethesda. Its whole existence is predicated, if you think about it, on the idea of the players have freedom to choose whatever the hell they want to do. Their whole success story so far has been exactly that. And now that Bethesda is kind of not allowing you to make people choose what they want to do, but, encircling them, so to speak, they're now in a worse position.
And ignore millions of other players? And I'll get to that, because a lot of you give feedback as if you're the only person on the planet, but you assume...
Yes, I am the only person on the planet when I'm playing that game. I am the only person whose opinion matters to me as the person.
Your views represent everyone else. but I'll get to that. I've said before in many videos, if players would only talk more about what they want instead of what they don't want, this would be so much.
Okay. Not bow garbage. Open world, sexy girls, buff guys. Okay? The four horsemen of basic good game design. We have told you countless times that we want this, but for some reason you don't give this to us. If you can't do the basics, why would we actually say anything more, to be honest?
Better and so much clearer and so much cleaner feedback. First of all, it gives developers a much better idea of how many people want those certain features. If you just say you don't like fast travel, but you don't say what you want instead, they're not sure how to implement that fast travelless game. Do you want more encounters? Do you want a paid way of doing?
If I want more encounters, I will choose to not do fast travel. How hard is that to understand?
Fast travel? Do you want a resource intensive way of doing fast travel? What do you want? Because doing nothing is 100% giving you not fast travel. But that's probably not what you want. You probably want something in exchange for not having the fast travel. And if you think this should be as simple as putting a checkbox in saying, turn off fast travel, you can see my video on doing difficulty, where there are people out there that think certain options should be decided by the designer, not the player, and therefore should not be provided in the options menu. They basically say, don't.
Yes, there are people like that. It's called Dark Souls. Very, very successful franchise exactly for those reasons.
Don't make me decide how to play your game. Just be aware that there's no good solution to this, because there are lots of players out there who want lots of options. They love playing around like, oh good, the game lets me turn off the HUD. Oh good, the game lets me turn off fast travel. They want that. They look for that. So there is no good solution for a developer.
If a player is trying to turn off something you implemented in the game, then that thing is just poorly implemented.
The problem is when people just tell you what they don't want, it's hard to get an idea of what the percentage is of people who want an alternative. It's like, okay, I know you don't want fast travel, but what do you want? Do you want more random encounters? Do you want a paid fast travel? Things like that. Or if you're tired of me talking about fast travel, I've done 2 different videos on encumbrance. And there are plenty of people who think that how items should be available and what should happen after you pick them up should be handled differently. Read the comment section. I'm not sure people were reading them. People were leaving comments saying everybody hates encumbrance. And then literally the next comment was, oh, I love when games have encumbrance. I'm not sure.
I don't like encumbrance, but I like it as a mechanic. Do you get what I'm saying?
People read the comments because there are a lot of comments where people love to say categorically, no one likes this, everyone hates this, right after a comment or before a comment of somebody saying they like it. So please take a look at the comment. In fact, let's talk a little bit about how to comment. Like I said, I would way prefer on this channel and for any forum where you're talking to game developers, say what it is you liked, especially why you liked doing that feature. I have an entire video on how to give good feedback. It's called Being Constructive. It's way easier to respond to constructive feedback than non-constructive feedback. So
no, not my job. Not my fucking job. Why do you want me to do your job so much? Because you can't do it yourself? Kind of seems like it.
What I don't understand is if you really want to get what you want, say what it is you want. Now, some people just like, no,
we do, and then we don't get it. That's the big issue.
I've got to say what I dislike. It's not fair. Saying what you dislike is just as useful. It is, if it's specific, which many of you aren't.
Like, look at Bethesda. We have literally begged for like a couple of years at this point that Emil Paglarino gets fired. Are we getting it? No. I'm pretty sure everyone is very, very, very sure what we want, and that is Emil being fired, but that's not happening for some reason.
There is a video I have called Feedback Needs Context, so you need to watch that. But let me give you the high-level example there, which is, if you just go, enemies are dumb, Stop giving us dumb enemies. Okay, you just gave negative feedback, but you give absolutely no context. So it's not like they can go in and go, hey, programmer, can you click the checkbox for smart enemies? It may be that...
Bro, what? You give feedback. You don't give feedback, it's bad. You give feedback, it's bad. There's no winning with developers, is there?
What you meant was, these enemies never take cover. There's cover all over the place that I use, but they never take it. Oh, you want enemies to take cover more frequently. Okay, that's constructive. I can work on that. So, think of it as...
I mean, if someone told me that the enemy is dumb, I mean, I probably would be able to figure that out without interrogating someone.
a wish list too. Like, imagine somebody came up to you and said, hey, what do you think Tim Kaine would like for his birthday?
Rippers.
If you said he would love a dark chocolate bar, at least 65% cacao, versus he hates white chocolate, what do you think is more likely to get me something I want? The first one, I'm going to get a dark chocolate bar that's at least 65% cacao, which immediately puts it in a range of chocolate that I absolutely adore. But the person who said he hates white chocolate, I may get...
Wanting a chocolate bar for your birthday seems kind of a little bit, I don't know, pretty sad.
Get a Snickers bar. Well, I don't want to go back on Snickers. Snickers are okay. But you can see that just saying I hate white chocolate, maybe they're getting me a boat. I don't want a boat, but they're like, well, it's not white chocolate. This is why it's so hard for developers to deal with your negative feedback. You're not telling them what you want. Just telling a developer what you don't want, guess what? The space of what you could want is huge, and you're not helping. In fact,
at the end of the day, just be a better game developer. Then you're not going to have to deal with this shit. There are some games that fail. There are some games that succeed. And for some reason, the games that succeed, that kind of understand what the players fucking want. Interesting how that is. Anyway, that was our boy, Timothy Kaine. Friend of the channel. Great guy. We love him very much. He did not mention wanting to go back to work for Bethesda in any direct or covert way. He's improving. Great guy, I love him. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.